You see the biceps, you see the tan, you see the abs, and you're thinking, I'm healthy, I'm good, until you're not. Coach Greg, in today's video, steroids aged me 20 years and it's now permanent. That is not what you want to hear, but it is exactly what happened to none other than Josh Brigham.
I posted every single cycle, every single bit of blood work. For me personally, it was to be the best in the world. In fact, right now I am preparing to qualify for the Mr. Olympia competition.
It's refreshing to see an IFBB pro who's open, honest, transparent, shows everything from the good, the bad, to the ugly. The blood work, the aging, and the reasons for what he's doing. He wants to have the best physique in the world as fast as possible and was willing to do and take anything in order to achieve it.
Most people who go down the steroid route are thinking about two things: size and speed.
Whether you're an IB pro or an amateur, almost every person who's using steroids wants the exact same thing. They want as fast a gains as possible, and they don't care about the risk. If they did care about the risk, they wouldn't be taking the steroids. And so unless it's TRT and you're being monitored by a doctor, kind of like Coach Greg, then what you're doing in secret, it isn't safe.
While the muscles are growing, the body is aging and fast.
And so, yeah, your physique is looking better, but everything else is looking worse. From the blood work, from your organs, from your insides, to your face, to your hair, the acne, everything is getting worse with the exception of your physique. I mean, the muscles, clearly, they're looking better. You're leaner, you're harder, you're stronger. But at what cost? How many times have we seen guys who are going viral on Instagram and so on, who have the most horrendous acne in the world, but yet they're putting on size? Or they've got bitch tits like no other, but they don't care because they have big biceps. They're losing their hair. They look disgusting. No one likes it, but well, they can bench press 500 pounds, so who cares? Muscles is one thing and one thing only, and if your goal is to look hot, to look better, to improve yourself, that is one metric of dozens. And so don't put all your eggs in one basket, in particular if those eggs are going to crack.
The first thing people are going to notice is not going to be the muscles. It's going to be the face. And the face of a long-term steroid user tells a very specific story. Puffy, round.
I had the same thing. When I look back on my old steroid-looking photos, you know, when I was in my late 30s, and I'm seeing the puffiness, the size of my head. I'm shocked to see this because, frankly, I was peeled. Single-digit body fat, but yet my face looked like I was fat. And why exactly is this? Well, the testosterone is converting to estrogen. You're carrying more water. You're getting puffy. And remember, I wasn't blasting D-bol and anadrol or every water-retentive compounds. I was typically running Test and Mastrone, Tren, but yet I still had the moon face. It's not very attractive, and I do remember back when I used to cycle on and cycle off that I noticed that my face actually looked better, and even my physique kind of looked better. In the weeks following when I went off of the steroids, I started losing that water retention, that puffiness, and I actually looked a bit harder. Yeah, I was a little bit smaller, but so was my face, and so overall the aesthetics, they did seem to improve.
And when the swelling hides those structures, the face looks heavier, it looks older. But that's just the water. There's also fat redistribution, which people don't talk about.
A lot of the weight that you're gaining when you're using performance-enhancing drugs, it isn't actually muscle weight. You might go on a steroid cycle and you're up 20 pounds, and you're thinking, it's 20 pounds of muscle. Chances are perhaps 10 of those pounds are actually just water.
Heavy dieting for shows, heavy bulking for off seasons, all of that facial expression while training, you have a one-way ticket to skin issues.
And so what do you think happens to your skin when your skin stretches so much? From the bulking, adding on all that muscle and water, and when the skin stretches a lot, what do you think happens when you diet down? I mean, have you not seen every single morbidly obese person, when they go on a diet, they use the GLPs, for example, Retta, or perhaps Ozempic or tirzepatide? And FYI, if you're interested in getting peptides like GLPs, you can go to AlgoRx, where doctors can prescribe it. It's all from compounding pharmacies, and so you know exactly what you're getting. Code Greg for your discount.
You flood your body with exogenous hormones, testosterone, Some of it converts into a hormone, dihydrotestosterone, DHT. DHT can be one of the enemies of your hair follicles.
So you're on extra testosterone, converts to DHT. This is going to help to speed up your hair loss. Remember, it is in fact genetic, but if you use steroids, it can speed up these genetics and you can end up bald. I've literally had 2 hair transplants myself. Perhaps I look like I have a lot of hair, but is that not the result of using a hair transplant? Now, if you're trying to prevent this, you can of course try to lower your DHT. You could take things like finasteride, dutasteride. You can of course pick up these things from Algorex, but they don't go without 0 side effects. For myself, taking finasteride at higher doses, it affected me negatively in the downstairs. That is not something that I would desired. And so I chose not to do this. I had the hair transplants. Not a fun experience, but hey, as long as you know in advance what you're doing and you're willing to accept those consequences, the rest is up to you. Now, of course, if you want to stay natural, you already know about Turk Builder Max, but do you know about Ferula? The best new supplement in decades, with human studies showing that it can double your testosterone level. You don't believe me? Try it. Can't wait to see the thousands of people who are using this, posting videos, bragging about how Coach Greg was right all along. And so if you don't believe me yet, that's fine. You don't have to use it. You can wait until other people prove that it works, and then you can come flooding for it if it's still in stock. And so if you want to be some of the first people in the world to use this, remember, have a monopoly on this. Not a single other person in the world. No other companies. You name the company, they don't have it. They can't get it. Coach Greg, the tea plug, he scours the globe to find the most rare herbs imaginable and gives it to the people. Don't say I didn't do anything for you. Hey, you can thank me later. Code Greg, 15% off.
Everything I've talked about so far is visual, right? You can see it in the mirror. But what's happening inside is worse, and you will not see it until it's too late.
Exactly. For example, blood pressure is a silent killer. You don't see it. You don't see your liver suffering, your kidneys. You don't see any of these things. You can't tell that your heart is enlarging. These are secret changes that are going on inside your body. All you see is the visual. You see the biceps, you see the tan, you see the abs, and you're thinking, I'm healthy, I'm good, until you're not. And the sad reality is many people care more about the negative side effects on their outsides than they do their insides. And so, for example, if they get acne, gynecomastia, or they start losing their hair, they'll start to panic. But having high blood pressure, what is this going to do? I'll just do some telmisartan. I don't need to stop blasting. Add me another beta blocker, I'll be all right. No, you will not.
A thickened heart wall is stiffer. It can't fill and pump blood efficiently. Blood pressure goes up, the risk of heart attack and sudden cardiac death increases significantly. And this is not super rare.
And so essentially this happens to everyone. Left ventricular hypertrophy. You will not know this happening until it's too late.
The liver is quite resilient as an organ, but don't use that as an excuse to overlook the damage. Because when you go further down, it can be worse. The kidneys are a tough one because when they damage, they do not repair like a liver. And
so thank goodness the liver is so resilient. If you, in fact, for example, drank a lot of alcohol, you know you're damaging your liver, but it oftentimes will bounce back. If you abuse steroids, let's say you're taking too many orals, Anavar, Halotestin, whatever, for a month, probably it's going to bounce back. Not every single time, but most likely. But not your kidneys. Once they start going down that track, they most likely will never be the same ever again.
Under steroid use, they're using with a lot more waste when they weren't really designed for that. And long-term users show measurable declines in kidney function.
Needing a kidney transplant or going under dialysis, these are not things that I'm hoping to get done before GTA 6. This is not pleasant. This is not something you wish that you could ever have to go through. And so it's very important to be monitored, to get your blood work checked, to go to Algorex and see what exactly is going on. And here's the thing. There could be 100 people all doing the same cycle, and these 10, horrendous. They're ruined. They're going to die. On the other extent, there's 10, no real problem. You hit the genetic lottery. But the thing is, you don't know if you're one of the 10 worst or the 10 best. Most likely you're somewhere in the middle, which is still not good. But you need to be careful, and unless you're getting your blood work, you will never know. And even with your blood work, you're not getting a calcium score. You don't see an enlarged heart. And so you need to do so many different things. The blood work, it's one thing. You need to get your blood pressure taken. And don't let people say, oh, it isn't that bad. 140 over 90. It's close enough. Guys, it's horrendous. You need to be careful with your blood pressure. Steroids increase your blood pressure. You're holding on to more water. Your blood pressure is going to go up. And so at the very least, do a shit ton of cardio. 150 minutes of cardio a week. That is like the absolute minimum. In my opinion, that's the minimum for people who don't use steroids. If you do steroids and you're not even doing the minimum, I'm talking about in the off season, not in pre-contest, everyone's doing cardio. If you're not being healthy all of the time, then you're asking for problems. Why would you not be proactive with your health?
Certain regions of the brain physically shrink. The result is cognitive decline, memory issues.
I mean, memory issues. Do you know how hard it is for me to learn Spanish? If I had not abused steroids, is it not possible that I would be way better at speaking Spanish fluently by now? I mean, I've almost been practicing for 3 years, but I'm doing everything in my power to actively slow down the decay. I'm studying, I'm reading, I'm working my brain, I'm working out, I'm doing zone 2 cardio, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. I'm eating healthy, I'm eating from my cookbook, and I'm only on HRT. I'm not blasting steroids. And so if you want to live longer than last time and you want to be able to think clearly longer than last time, it's important to be proactive with your health.
And during that journey, I realized that I am considerably less emotionally stable. I am considerably more hot-headed.
And so when you're on steroids, you're not the person that you thought you once were. You're more emotional. You get more angry more easily. You are a different and altered version of yourself, and it's based on hormones. You can't do anything about it. While on steroids, you have to be cognizant of the fact that they are in fact affecting you. And so when bro passes you on the highway or says something indifferent to you and you're thinking, what's up with that? Chances are it's you and not them. You need to remember, you are in control of your feelings. You can react the way that you want. It's more difficult. It's an uphill battle because those hormones are changing the way you think. And so you have to purposely, during the day, try to be normal. Without steroids, you are normal. You just be yourself. You go about with your day. But with steroids, you have to actively try not to be an asshole.
I think the problem is what was once extreme becomes the baseline, and the risks become even easier to ignore because everyone around you is taking the same risks.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we all end up with friends that are doing the exact same thing. So when I was a professional bodybuilder actively competing, my circle of friends were doing the same. And so when I compared my steroid cycle to others, mine was very, very extreme, but it was in line with everyone else. And so I'm like, well, I'm not that bad. I'm doing a little bit of cardio. I mean, I did triathlon for 13 years. And so none of this is probably going to happen to me. I'm getting my blood work done. It's not that bad. I mean, it's horrible while I'm taking it, but after it kind of goes down. Well, every time I did a cycle, damage was being done. Sure, I went back to normal in my off season, but every time I did it, it made things bad yet again. And so it'd kind of be like being a smoker. For 3 months, you smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. It's not good for your lungs. And then for 3 months, you stop. And then you keep repeating that cycle for 10 years. You don't think that that smoking damage is going to have a cumulative effect on the body? It certainly would have been better to never have smoked. And so thank goodness I've stopped and I'm only on HRT for the last 6 years. Remember, the only thing that you can continue to do that would be more stupid than what you've done in the past is to keep doing what you've done in the past. And so if you've been using steroids for 10 years, you can stop. If you stop 5 to 6 years from now, hopefully some of those damages are going to go down. And hopefully, if you're fortunate, you'll return back to normal. If you were obese for 10 years, you've eaten like shit. Well, stop eating like shit, lose the weight, do cardio. And in 5 years from now, maybe you actually will be healthy. The smoker, stop smoking. Whatever bullshit that you've been doing, stop the bullshit, do what's healthy, and be proactive with your health. Is it too much for me to ask for you to try to be healthy? Remember, we all have our vices. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect. You're going to have some cheat meals. Maybe you don't do cardio every single day. Perhaps you go drinking out with your friends once in a while, but can you do less than you did before? That's all I'm asking. And so go and check out Josh Bridgeham if you're interested. He can help you with his coaching. I'm sure he can help you to improve your physique. He is very knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing. This was an excellent video. If you're interested in getting peptides and so on from Al Gore X, they have doctors that can help tell you exactly what you should be doing. They can describe it. They even have packages on them being able to help you as well. You get your blood work, you get your peptides. And if you're interested in hiring Coach Greg to coach you and so on, you can click the link. If you want want to be sponsored, to be an ambassador, the link is there as well. Don't forget about all the amazing supplements at HTLT Supplements. For example, the GO2 Max to help with your cardio. You can go to my website and use code Greg for your discount. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo for Algo RX to go and watch one of the 2 bloops. And until next time, es tiempo por aprender español.